As the state of Florida braces for Hurricane Milton as well as future hurricanes to come, decisions made in the state's capital during Ron DeSantis' administration perhaps leaves more questions than it does answers. On March 24th of 2023, Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 837. He marketed the bill as, quote, decreasing frivolous lawsuits and as an effort to, quote, prevent the predatory practices of attorneys who prey on hard-working Floridians. This was a sleight of hand by mixing up words because the attorneys who are referenced in this bill actually represent homeowners whose insurance companies refuse to pay out claims after storms damage their homes in the Sunshine State. House Bill 837 is flanked by SB 76 as well as HB 7065. SB 76 prevents contractors from advising homeowners to contact their insurance companies to file a claim so that their homes can be fixed and so that contractors can be paid. On the other hand, HB 7065 limits the fees attorneys assisting policyholders can receive by stopping the ability of homeowners to recover attorneys' fees when suing insurance companies that would not pay out their policy. In other words, while homeowners experience the crippling cost of repairing a home and an insurance company that refuses to repair it, Ron DeSantis requires that those same homeowners pay their own attorney's fees, regardless of the negligence of insurance companies. Even as these bills were enacted, which heavily favored insurance companies, insurance costs in the state of Florida skyrocketed. According to reports, homeowners' insurance rates in the state of Florida has risen by 102% over the past 3 years as of January 2024. But what incentive does Ron DeSantis have to favorably position insurance companies in the state of Florida, even as insurance rates continue to elevate and even as insurance companies made millions by continually collecting premiums from policyholders, then refusing to insure their homes any further in the state of Florida by pulling completely out of the state? A review of Ron DeSantis' campaign financial records by several media outlets made Ron DeSantis' incentive quite clear. Insurance companies had donated nearly $4 million to his campaign's political action committee. As insurance companies bankrolled Ron DeSantis, a report was filed with the FEC. That report alleged that Ron DeSantis' political action committee in the state of Florida, Friends of Ron DeSantis, violated federal campaign laws by transferring $80 million to Never Back Down, which is a federal super PAC that was organized to finance Ron DeSantis' failed bid for the 2024 presidency. That Ron DeSantis transferred millions of dollars from his state political action committee to a federal super PAC in violation of federal law is not exactly a surprise. In March of 2023, the same month and year in which he signed HB 837 and just before Ron announced his bid for the presidency, the Florida Department of State quietly changed Florida's campaign laws so that Ron could, in fact, transfer his funds from the state political action committee over to the federal super PAC. Seemingly in Ron DeSantis' Florida, not only is public policy for sale, but the laws of the state of Florida bend to the will of the governor. And at the same time, the needs of Floridians take a back seat to the desires of corporations, even if those needs are about securing the safety of Floridians by repairing their homes. To add insult to injury, Ron DeSantis created a $2 billion taxpayer-funded reinsurance fund. A reinsurance fund is insurance for the insurance company, such that when and if a catastrophic event happens, an insurance company will not go out of business. So, as insurance companies donated to Ron DeSantis as well as surged rates in the state of Florida and at the same time refused to cover claims if anything happened to that insurance company, well, their claims were paid by the taxpayers, the same people whose claims they refused to cover. At present, as Hurricane Helene powered toward Florida's panhandle, several House Republicans voted against extending billions in additional funding for FEMA. Among them were representatives from the state of Florida. Those persons were Aaron Bean, Gus Bilirakis, Kat Cammack, Byron Donalds, Matt Gaetz, Laura Lee, Anna Paulina Luna, Corey Mills, Bill Posey, Mike Waltz, and Daniel Webster. The millions in aid that many Floridians will undoubtedly need may now be delayed because their own representatives refuse to see that Florida's susceptibility to hurricanes due to its geographical location would need the assistance that they voted against. Florida's House Representatives' vote against extending further aid to FEMA is further punctuated by Ron DeSantis' refusal to take a phone call from Kamala Harris to expedite aid for Hurricane Helene, as well as now, at least as of this recording, impending Hurricane Milton. This flies in the face of Republican claims that Kamala Harris does not do her job. And it does so because she has been prevented from doing her job by many Republicans, as in this instance, Ron DeSantis, who then takes this claim and uses it as political fodder. But the trick to understanding this is the reason why Ron DeSantis is able to make this claim, and the reason why many Floridians will have the experience that they will have and are having the experience they are having now, is because of the decision making that Ron DeSantis, as well as many Republican House members, have made in the state, thereby impacting the constituency that they serve. As Floridians prepare for the impending hurricane, as well as other hurricanes in the future, there is a need to think about the ramifications of the decision-making process that takes place in the voting booth, as well as the decision-making process that takes place in the days leading up to the moment of the vote itself. Because as the current political cycle demonstrates, elections have consequences. And too often, politicians are willing to expose their constituents to those consequences in service of corporations, as well as in service of their own political careers and personal beliefs. Even as those same politicians sell their supporters on who does and does not belong in the United States and who are allegedly taking their jobs. Think carefully when you vote this cycle, because your vote counts and your vote matters. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.